Okay, we are now on day 3, and day 3 of the Hill Zone Challenge is share a quote, mantra, or affirmation you try to live by. Mine is actually a scripture, and it says, "Be not forgetful to entertain strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares." Basically, what that means is you basically have to watch how you treat people, because you actually never know who God is sending into your life to help you. And I will tell a short story. So I I work downtown Baton Rouge, and a situation happened where it was a Friday, and I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a Friday, and at that time I think I got off at 4:30. So I was leaving out, but normally I get off at 4:30. However, I always wait because, like, at the state, it's about 4 or 5 buildings that are outside, and a lot of us share a parking garage. So in sharing that parking garage, everybody's walking out at the same time. So you are basically in a FEMA line to get out. So let's just say you walk out at 4:30. By the time you get to your car, you get in your car, you start it up, you are in line. It's about 30 or 40 cars in line. Literally, I'm not even playing. It's about 30, 40 cars that are in line trying to get out. And you actually have to swipe to get out. So in swiping, they gonna have people who don't are illy prepared, who don't have their stuff. It's just tedious. So that's just extra information. But I waited. So by the time I got outside, because I was talking to Deborah, who is she's the call center supervisor, well, head supervisor, like she's over everybody basically. So I was talking to her, my friend Tammy, hey Tammy, and Miss Barbie. That's another lady who works with us. She's a team lead. So we walked out, and we all park on different floors. So I went to my floor, and there was a young lady who was no, I actually well she walked out before me, and I was starting up my car, and it was so hot, and my Monte Carlo did not have air. So I was starting up the car, and we stay in Louisiana, so it is hot. Well, for the most part, it is hot. It's hot, but it was hot that day. So I hear her start up her car, and it's like tick tick, and I'm like, oh Jesus. So I get out, and I'm like, do you need help? And she's like, no, I got it. I said, okay. So she has a she had a Chevy Malibu. Wait, no, not Malibu. She had a Chevy Impala, and basically the Chevy Impala and the Monte Carlos are basically the same car. The only difference is the Impala has 4 doors, the Monte Carlo has 2. That's basically the only difference. Everything on it, the spare tires the same, most of the parts are the same. Whenever I had to order a part, it was basically 4. It said Impala, Monte Carlo. So it's basically the same car. So I had a hoopty, but it wasn't a hoopty. On the outside, it was nice looking, but internally, Lord have mercy, it was a bucket. When I tell you, I used to fix so much stuff. My friend Kimmy, she talked about me. When I tell you, I was a personal shade tree mechanic. I fixed everything on my car. So I knew how the car operated. So when she did that, I automatically knew. I said, it's her battery. Like, I could hear it. But the only thing about that is she was going by my appearance. Let me first elaborate as to how I go to work. Well, they call me dressed up doll, because most of the time when I go to work, I have on my heels, I have on a nice outfit. I try to represent myself very well whenever I go anywhere, period. I am the person that they basically made the meme for, with someone going to a picnic in heels. That's me. They joke about it all the time, but that's me. They joke about it all the time, but it's so true. It's just something that I feel comfortable in. I have gotten a little bit older, so I don't do heels as much, but I do still wear my heels. So picture this, Sicily. I'm playing. So this is the I have on a fitted black dress with some hot pink pumps, literally hot pink. So she's looking at me like, what do you think you gonna do, little girly girl? Not knowing that I know all about the car. So I still see my car. The car ticks. So I'm like, okay. So I end up pulling out, but I pull around to her car. So she's on the phone with I think she said her boyfriend, her uncle. I can't remember who exactly she said it was, but she said she was on the phone. So I said, okay, well, pop the hood. So she was looking at me like, pop the hood, girl. So she pops the hood, and once she pops the hood, when she opens it up, her battery was corroded so bad. When I tell you so bad. So in the trunk of my car, I have what is it called? It's like a wire brush. So I basically was brushing all of the, what is that? The acid that was on it. So I was brushing it off to the best of my ability. Whoever put the cables on her post didn't put them on there properly, so that's what was causing it. So I saw that. So she was like, don't worry about it. I think she said her boyfriend, my boyfriend coming in, he gonna work it out. So I'm like, why would you, like, at this time it's like 5 something and it's the weekend. Let me go back a little bit, because all of her friends who she worked with walked out with us, and they heard her not being able to crank her car, but they kept going about their business. Who stayed but Carla? So she was like really aggravated that I was even, she was aggravated that I was actually trying to help, and she kept looking at me like, what do you think you're gonna do? So I told her, I was like, well, we basically have the same car. So she was like, well, I just got a new battery, so I don't think it's a battery. I said, well, I don't think it's a battery now that I look at it. I said, I was just looking, I was just going by what I heard, and basically what I heard was the tick tick, which most of the time is the battery. So she took the cables off. Well, I took the cables off. I put them back on. So I got the jumper cables. I tried. It did not crank. It tick tick a couple again. So I really wasn't trying to flood it. That's a term that they use in starting a car as flooding it. So for those who don't know. So she was still getting agitated and she was aggravated, which I can understand, but understand that I'm in the heat and I don't want to be here. So I waited a couple of minutes. So I said, well, just give it. So I gave my car a little gas. So I put it back on there, and I positioned the clamps different for the jumper cables. So once I did that, the car starts. Okay. So she was like, oh my God. So she's on the phone with him and she's like, oh, you don't have to come. This girl helped me start my car. And oh my God, what can I give you? What can I do? Just I'll take you out to lunch, or I'll pay for your lunch. Just tell me where you work at and all of that. So I told her, I said, I want you to do something. I said, I do not want anything, with money from you. I said, the only thing I want you to do is to be more receptive of receiving help from a stranger. So she was like, what you talking about? I said, I saw your disposition when I was speaking to you. I said you were really aggravated, and you really looked at me just because of how I was dressed. You assumed that I didn't know what I was doing. I said, next time don't assume, because you never know who God can send to help you. So you never know. Your angel could be a big girl in some hot pink pumps with a hot pink purse. And she is going to be your hero and your savior at that time to try to get you where you need to be. And she was like, I am so sorry. She said, I really did judge you and looked at you up and down. I said, I saw you look at me up and down. I said, but I really was trying to just help. So she said, I am sorry. But that's just a short story of, watch who you entertain, because you never know who can actually help you, and you never know who knows who. And it's not always about, climbing a social ladder or what a person can do for you, but you just don't know. Like my dad raised me with the saying that even a bum can teach you something, because they have lived life they failed at certain things. And even though we may see them as being down, the Lord, you never know. You never know. You just never know. So that's my takeaway from day 3. And that's the scripture that I do live by, because I try to make every person who meet me or who has worked with, you can ask anybody. I try to keep my family, my friends, just everybody around me laughing. I need everybody happy. So thank you all for taking this journey with me for day 3.